All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live here tonight. It is the NASCAR All-Star Race, but first we've got the All-Star Open coming your way. Live commentary throughout, a live leaderboard throughout that you'll see on the screen throughout the course of this race as well. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we get into this one because it is going to be a lot of fun. 3 drivers will have to race their way into the Open. 1 will get in due to a fan vote. And I got to say, I did forget to do the fan vote this year. So I had my opportunities to do it, just didn't end up making it out to be. But regardless of the fact, we are here. This is going to be a lot of fun. Live commentary. I'm excited. I'm excited for this race. I was getting pumped up for it all day long. Pretty much the Open. Pretty plain and simple. Again, 3 different stages. The winner of each stage will move on to the All-Star race tonight. It's 50 laps in total. I believe it's 20, 20, and 10. Could be wrong on that, but I believe it is 20, 20, and 10. Starting lineup will look like this. Front row will have Tyler Reddick and Chris Buescher. Row number 2, Matt DiBenedetto and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And row number 3, Ross Chastain, Bubba Wallace, though Ross Chastain will have to start at the rear of the field. Row 4 will be Daniel Suarez and Eric Jones. Rookie Chase Briscoe and teammate Eric Almirola in row 5. Corey LaJoie, Anthony Alfredo, row 6. Row number 7, Quinn Houff, James Davidson, Josh Bilicki, and Austin Cindric, all the way back towards the rear of the field in row number 8. Row number 9, BJ McLeod, Justin Haley. Row number 10, Cindric and Ware will be in row 9. Row 10, Justin Haley, Garrett Smithley. And then rounding out the field will be Timmy Hill and David Starr in the following row. Trying to get everything synced up. I've got the audio on my laptop, and then I've got the TV in front of me where I'm actually watching the race. So as I'm listening to the commentary, hopefully it's all going to get put up, ready to go. But they are on the pace laps. They're actually looking to start a little earlier than originally anticipated. The stream was set for 6, and they're about to get the 1-to-go signal this time by. Final race that Fox has taken over coverage for the season. The race is live on Fox Sports 1 with the All-Star race itself starting later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yep, so 20, 20, and 10 will be the 3 stages in the Open. This is going to fly by in a hurry, and we're going to find out the 4 drivers who are going to advance to tonight's main event in the actual 100-lap All-Star race later on. Comment in the chat down below who you picked in the fan vote. I think it's closed. I'm not entirely sure if it's still open throughout the course of the race, but gotta say I probably would have voted for Matt DiBenedetto if I did vote, but I didn't vote. So shame on me for that, that's for sure. Only green flag laps are going to count for all 3 stages in the Open tonight as well. Temperature at 95 degrees. Track temp at 145, which is the hottest it's been for any race this season. It is a scorcher down there in Fort Worth, Texas. About to go green this time as the field paces their way through turns 3 and 4. Sorry, caution laps count for the first 2 stages. The final stage, the caution laps do not count. Tyler Reddick is going to lead the field to the green, electing to restart on the inside lane. Green flag is in the air. We're going to decide who the 4 drivers will be in the All-Star race. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. trying to push Chris Buescher, but he's not locked onto the bumpers anymore like the 21 and the 8 cars are down on the bottom as DiBenedetto shoves Reddick into turn 1. Huge push, gets Reddick sideways. Suarez drifts all the way up to the outside. Bubba Wallace up the middle, 3 wide for about 4th place. DiBenedetto and Buescher side-by-side battle for second still, as going into the corner, it's still Tyler Reddick with the lead. Wallace slides to the outside in front of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Behind lane on the 99 of Daniel Suarez. Tyler Reddick will lead lap 1 of the Open. Still side-by-side for second between DiBenedetto and Buescher, allowing Reddick to pull away slowly but surely. 3 wide to the inside into turn 1, further back. Contact up the racetrack as well. Austin Cindric gets into the side. Sorry, that's Corey LaJoie into the side of the 47 of Daniel Suarez, as there were 3 wide after Eric Jones made a dive bomb move going into the corner. Have to watch to see if there's any sort of tire rub on those cars going forward, but for right now, they seem to be all right. DiBenedetto gets tight off of turn 4 after Chris Buescher out of nowhere gets up to 3rd place, followed by Bubba Wallace, and now Eric Jones for Petty Enterprise, working his way up inside the top 5. So Chris Buescher is being black flagged for beating the leader to the start of the race. The initial leader of the race determines the start. It's the restart zone, as Larry McReynolds just stated on the Fox broadcast, does not count for anything. So Chris Buescher likely going to have to go to the back and remove himself from second place. Eric Jones, Matt DiBenedetto currently side-by-side for the 5th spot. Jones makes the pass. We've seen that 43 car race its way in from the Open in years past. In fact, 2 years ago, back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the last time the All-Star race was on a 1.5 miles. Oh, trouble! Turn 2, Bubba Wallace goes around as cars miss him to the inside and outside. That'll bring out the first caution of the race today. Wallace was in the 4th position with Jones right behind him. Not sure if there was any contact that instigated the accident. Kyle Larson fan, Tim Irvin, and Dixon, welcome to the stream. Didn't look like there was any contact between the 43 and the 23, as it looked like Wallace just lost control. No matter how much downforce these cars have, with as hot as the racetrack and the air temperature is at Texas Motor Speedway right now, these cars are going to be sliding around at least during the Open, during the daylight hours, and even early into the All-Star race. Those first couple segments will likely be in the daylight as well. Top 10 with 15 laps to go in segment 1, under our first caution of the day at lap 4 for Bubba Wallace, spinning while running in 4th. Runs like this. Well, I should say on the leaderboard. If you see it on the screen itself, Tyler Reddick currently leads the way with Chris Buescher in 2nd, Chase Briscoe 3rd, Eric Jones 4th, Matt DiBenedetto rounds out the top 5. I'm glad I found this leaderboard, by the way. I can actually look at this while they're on commercial and at least be able to tell what's going on right now. Kind of nice, too. I didn't even think NASCAR.com had this available for free, but I guess it is. It might not be for free. I might be paying for it, not realize it. So that could be an option. I actually like how it turned out on the stream, to be completely honest. So Chris Buescher will have to serve his penalty, by the way, under the caution as well. Oh, shoot. I forgot that. My bad. My bad. I hope I don't get copyrighted for that. I didn't see. I forgot that you guys could see everything I'm doing on my laptop. Whoops. It was an advertisement, at least. I was trying to rewind it because the audio is ahead of what I'm actually watching. The only reason I have the actual Fox broadcast in my ears, so that way if there is some sort of like mechanical issues and stuff, I know about it and I can let you guys know instead of wondering what's going on because my TV is muted. Hopefully you guys are having fun tonight. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. So LaJoie and Stenhouse got together again after Jones. Yeah, exactly. So exactly what Jeff Gordon stated was what I was about to state was that Eric Jones, when he made that dive bomb move into turn one under LaJoie and Stenhouse, that it looked like LaJoie was about to throw the block and then thought better of it and just kind of went immediately to the outside. Stenhouse was there, and that's how they got together. Pace car, rolls off of the racetrack onto pit road. And how about Ross Chastain coming from the rear up to 7th for this restart? Anthony Alfredo up to 6th as well. Reddick leads the field to the green again, electing the inside. Fellow Chevrolet driver Eric Jones in the 43 pushes in from behind while two Fords on the outside of Chris Buescher and Matt DiBenedetto try to work together. Reddick is trying to clear the 14 of Briscoe. Briscoe is cleared off of turn 2 as Briscoe cannot stay on that right rear quarter panel. We'll see if Jones is going to be able to give a push to the 14 as he sends the 14 of Buescher into the corner. Sorry, the 14 of Briscoe into the corner. And another caution further back as Buescher goes around. Stenhouse looked like he made contact with the 15 of James Davidson. There was a little contact there. I don't know if it was because Stenhouse sent it into the corner. Now, with only 50 laps scheduled for the Open, these drivers do not have to pit for fuel. We haven't seen a lot of tire fall off in the last couple races at Texas Motor Speedway with this current rules package as well. Who do you think will be in the top 4 in the popular vote and rank them? Oh, geez. I'd probably lean towards Bubba Wallace being 1, Matt DiBenedetto 2, Daniel Suarez probably in 3. I don't know who 4 would be. Maybe Ross Chastain. I can see Chastain being number 4. I need to rewind the audio, but I can't show the actual broadcast on YouTube or I'll get copyrighted for it. I'll have to just take my headphone out. I heard like them saying trouble and before I even saw it on my TV. It's not synced up properly. I tried to sync it up, but then my TV had like a tad bit of a lag on the like opening lap of the race, so it lagged out of sync again. That's an audio issue I'm having. You guys have no issue with it. Also, comment down below how many of you guys are watching the race at home. By the time we go green, we're going to have less than 10 laps to decide who will be the first driver to lock themselves up into the All-Star Open. I'm hoping to get some green flag racing in here. We had 4 laps and then a caution. Then we had 2 laps into that restart and another caution. Hot, slick racetrack. No practice or qualifying either coming into this week. Obviously, all those things factoring in, making a big issue and maybe the handling for these drivers. Poor Stenhouse has been in the middle of everything, indeed. Watching SpongeBob and you. Now, you got to turn the Open on. I mean, if you're not available to watch it, then, well, here you are, but... Look out for Ross Chastain here tonight. I didn't expect him to go through the Open. My predictions for the Open were going to be Reddick, DiBenedetto, and Chris Buescher. Buescher's at the back now after having that penalty for jumping the start of the race. We'll have 7 laps to go when the field goes green. James Davidson going off on his radio about Stenhouse just dive bombing into the corner. Green flag back in the air. Reddick, Briscoe on the front row again. Jones again pushing Reddick on the bottom while DiBenedetto tries to get that outside to work, but he can't quite do it. And easily again, Reddick is all clear off of turn 2, side by side. From second all the way back, 3 wide towards the back of the pack again with the 51, the 00, and the 47 up on the outside. Oh, and now Jones gets sideways in the corner. Collecting Daniel Suarez. Jones hard into the outside wall. Driver's side door first as he goes around, bringing out another caution. And what a tough break for Eric Jones and Daniel Suarez, who had nowhere to go in the center of the corner. Jones got sideways. Not sure if there was contact that allowed him to go sideways, or if he just lost control of the race car underneath Chase Briscoe. Yep. 43 of Jones overdrove the corner, got a little bit into the left side of the 14 of Briscoe's race car, spun him right around, and while in mid-drift, the 99 of Suarez, who had nowhere to go behind all that, clobbered the left front of the 43, turning Jones then into the outside wall. That's going to take both cars out of the race. Likely. Jones definitely had the worst end of it, but Suarez got a good lick in there too. They will be ineligible for the fan vote if their cars are not eligible to be raced in the actual All-Star race later tonight. If they cannot get their repairs made properly, They will not be eligible for that fan vote. And both Suarez and Jones are down in the garage. Tough break in what has been a tough season so far for Eric Jones. Because it looked like he had a lot of speed there early. And these guys are racing way too aggressively. I mean, they're wrecking on restarts. They're losing control on restarts. I get it's the Open. You want to race your way into the All-Star race. But there's still 2 more segments to race your way in after this. You can't afford to take yourself out of action 15 laps into a 50-lap race. You got to give yourself a shot at some point in time. And I know the winner advances through each segment, each stage, each segment. Briscoe came down onto pit road to repair damage. So he'll restart at the rear of the field. That will leave Tyler Reddick and Eric Almirola on the front row. Chastain continues to rocket forward. He'll restart third with Corey LaJoie on his outside. Great start for LaJoie, despite the early contact with Stenhouse. DiBenedetto, Justin Haley back in row 3. Haley made the All-Star race last season because of a win in the Daytona July race back in 2019, so he's trying to make a second straight All-Star appearance. Can't watch the race, Grandpa's talking the TV. I did not get a chance to watch the SRX race last night. No, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I only watched the highlights, and highlights can only really do so much. I watched the IndyCar highlights of today's race, too. It just seems like they were both good shows, good races, but unless you really watch from start to finish, it's tough to really dictate that. Well, let's see if they can make it back these final few laps under green. It looks like it should be a green-white checker finish. Yep. So they're lining up for the restart. Eric Almirola chooses to restart behind Tyler Reddick with the choose cone rule in play instead of alongside of him, as Almirola was second at the time of the caution. He's kind of spurted out of nowhere as well. So Ross Chastain from third elects to restart on the outside. So it'll be Chastain and Reddick. 2 Chevrolets on the front row. With the Ford and the Chevy in row 2. Again, LaJoie elects the outside behind Chastain. Ashton G, welcome to the stream. Who are my picks from the Open? I can't remember. I don't know who you picked. I remember you stating in the chat earlier on the live stream who you had, but I can't remember who exactly you picked. Two laps to decide who will be the first driver to lock themselves into the All-Star race tonight through the Open. It'll be a 2-lap green-white checker shootout, what has been a caution-filled Stage 1, Segment 1. It'll be Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain on the front row. Again, Almirola and LaJoie in row 2 behind. Pushing and shoving bumper to bumper. Reddick is going to lead them into turn 1. Again, that inside, and Reddick just takes off on these restarts. We'll see if Chastain can hang on that right rear corner panel enough to stay side by side. He aggressively side drafts Reddick, and he will stay alongside as they're 2x2 for the race lead down the back straightaway. Reddick side drafts the 42. He gets into him. Contact is in battle for the lead. They bounce off one another again into turn 3, and Tyler Reddick is going to pull clear of the 42 of Chastain. Chastain gets into his right rear corner panel now. Trying to stay alongside. How did Chastain keep that run off the exit of turn 4? Final lap of the race as they barrel into turn 1. 2x2, it's DiBenedetto and LaJoie side by side for third behind the 2 leaders. Chastain darts on the outside to get around Reddick into 1 and 2. What a move from the rear to the lead in stage 1 for Ross Chastain, and the Watermelon Man is going to bring it in off turn 4 to win stage 1 on a last lap pass. What a move on the outside of the racetrack and on the outside of the restart. Chastain P1, followed by Reddick, LaJoie, DiBenedetto, and Almirola the top 5. Ross Chastain does it. In stage 1, again, had to start at the rear. His crew chief was ejected before the start of the race. Heck of a restart for Ross Chastain. I thought when that contact was made going into 3 between Reddick and Chastain, the momentum was lost by the 42, but what a finish. And Reddick will have to try again in stage 2. At least he's got the track position. Hopefully he didn't bang up the race car too much with the contact on the restart with Ross Chastain, but a heck of a finish to stage number 1. All set up with a flurry of cautions. Hopefully, stage 2, we can see it go green and actually get to decide who has the faster car. Ross Chastain, the way he rocketed through that field, I don't doubt he had one of the faster cars. And he didn't want to waste any time. Telling you, once he gets more Cup experience, Bowman, Byron have to be better. Yeah, that's very true. Chastain, Reddick, DiBenedetto, and then your fan vote was Bubba Wallace. Yeah, my fan vote would have been Bubba Wallace, and then I had Reddick, DiBenedetto, and Buescher racing their way in. I didn't think Chastain, without his crew chief and starting at the rear due to an inspection violation before the race, was going to be able to make his way through the field. I also didn't think we were going to have that many cautions at stage 1, knocking guys out ahead of him and helping him get through the pack, but nonetheless, what a job by Ross Chastain. I did not have Chastain picked. Honestly, I was thinking about him, but once he had to start at the rear, I took DiBenedetto to get that final stage as well. I think Cindric and Reddick will win the stages. Yeah, Cindric's on the move as well. He finished seventh at the end of stage 1, that 4th Penske ride. One to look out for as well. Not racing for points, but he's ran a handful of Cup races already this season. Tree, welcome to the stream. Suarez fan, I feel pain. Yeah, I feel you, man. Tough break for Suarez. Wrong place at the wrong time. Here's the interview with Ross Chastain.
Well, previous restarts, Tyler Reddick had been getting a nice push. No push from either of the guys on the front row, so now they're side by side through turns 1 and 2.
I thought they were going to go to Chastain. They had him on camera, and then they just went right to the replay. When Chastain's interview comes up, I will unplug my mic and allow you to listen to it.
Watching that on our camera right here, you just said, I can't believe he left that for me from worst to first. You're an all-star tonight.
Yeah, get to race with my heroes, Regan. It's really cool. It's been a good weekend on track, but off track has obviously been really tough. Just fired me up more though. This McDonald Chevy was obviously really good to come from the back like that and race with guys like Reddick and those guys. And I thought I was getting turned on the backstretch there when he drove in the left rear, but it's the dream come true, man. I'm living my dream as a farmer. Now I get to go NASCAR racing in an all-star race with my heroes. It's amazing.
Go get that $1 million tonight. Continue on that dream, Mike.
A big weekend for Chip Ganassi Racing.
Ross Chastain again wins stage number 1. Now we're about to rack 'em and stack 'em again. Again, hopefully we get more green flag racing this time. Tyler Reddick going to choose to restart on the outside after he got beat on the outside that last time. Remember, it was the inside lane that worked out for Reddick the first couple restarts, but one too many. He was not able to hold on. Matt DiBenedetto will be on the inside of row 1. Row 2 will be Eric Almirola, Austin Cindric. Buescher has made his way through the field, as well as Bubba Wallace after a couple spins earlier, and now they are in row 3. Cindric gives the push to Reddick as the green flag waves. Huge launch by Tyler Reddick on the outside lane. Easily pulls down in front of Matt DiBenedetto. Reddick learning from his mistakes early and gets a great jump and trying to pull away now, hoping that this one goes green through this next 20 laps. Still side by side for second through 3 and 4 between DiBenedetto and Cindric for second. Buescher is all over the back of the 33, trying to find his way through. We know Buescher has a fast car. He's got a couple top 10s on mile and a half this season. Look out for that 17 car. He was one of my picks to race his way in. Cindric was able to pull ahead and clear DiBenedetto on the bottom to get the second. And now trying to run after Tyler Reddick for the race lead. Side by side for 7th place between Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Chase Briscoe in the 14. And by the way, Tim, yes, the All-Star fan vote winner will be announced at the end of the open race, so after the end of this final stage. Reddick, Cindric, DiBenedetto, Almirola, Chris Buescher, the top 5. So they have all made it single file in line. It's Almirola trying to get around Matt DiBenedetto currently for third, as that 21 car just does not look up to par, even in comparison to the other Fords inside the top 5. Reddick, the only Chevy in the top 5. But he's leading. Four laps complete under green flag conditions so far, and segment number 2, stage 2. Reddick has pulled ahead to about a 0.7 of a second lead. Almirola pulls low on the 21 of DiBenedetto, trying to get underneath him down the front stretch. Sends it into turn 1. And now they're side by side for third place. Almirola wants to get going. He has had an absolutely rough season so far, but making it into the All-Star race might try to swing some upward momentum for him. But again, he has to race his way in. He did race his way into the All-Star race last year at Bristol Motor Speedway, winning stage and segment number 1 there. DiBenedetto continues to block off the 10 of Almirola. Will Almirola maybe be more aggressive to making that move to the inside? DiBenedetto's been kind of getting those right side tires up in the traction compound in turns 1 and 2, running a different lane, and he's got a big run on Austin Cindric for second place. So maybe DiBenedetto isn't as good on the initial restart, but on the longer run, he might be able to. Gets a little tight off of turn 4 now. Once he got closer to the back of the 33, and that almost opened the door for Almirola to make the pass. Cindric with a block going off into turn 3 as DiBenedetto gets underneath him. They nearly make contact as DiBenedetto clears Austin Cindric off of turn 4. That loss of momentum by the 33 of Cindric is now going to allow Almirola to get underneath them. They're side by side for third into turn 1. 12 laps to go in stage 2 in the All-Star Open. Almirola will clear off of turn 2 easily on Cindric now for third. DiBenedetto now just less than a second off the race lead from Tyler Reddick and still trying to close to the end of stage 2. 11 laps to go. DiBenedetto is closing on Reddick. Almirola closing to the back bumper, the 21 as well, and maybe the 3 fastest cars in the open are 1, 2, 3. Cindric continues to fall back after getting to second on the restart. Buescher to the inside of Cindric now, and he will make his way up to 4th. Nope, not quite. Still side by side. Cindric pulls him back. Side draft in that right rear corner panel of the 17 of Buescher. And Cindric was able to actually pull clear into turn 1. Almirola looking underneath the 21 of DiBenedetto again, but this time for second place instead of a couple laps ago when it was for third. If they work together, they might be able to team up to get around Tyler Reddick. And that time being gained on that outside groove is helping DiBenedetto, but by doing that, the bottom gets opened up by Eric Almirola, and Almirola is side by side with DiBenedetto for second into turn 1. 9 laps to go now in stage 2. When those two get side by side and are able to side draft each other like they did on the front stretch, that leaves an issue for those guys in trying to catch Tyler Reddick in these closing laps of the stage. But now that DiBenedetto is all clear, he is trying to close on the 8 of Tyler Reddick. He's within a half a second, but can't get much closer. Understand the 21 car and DiBenedetto's plan of trying to run the outside, or at least keep those right side tires in that outside PJ1, but Almirola now running just a tad bit higher, about a half a car length higher. He'll get the run off turn 4, trying to fight to the back bumper of the 21 again. Might be some lap traffic in the way here in a couple of laps. Timmy Hill, David Starr could play a factor, and we'll see if the 21 and the 10 can pounce on Reddick because of it. Within 0.4 of a second of the lead now, 6 laps to go in the segment. Almirola again to the inside of DiBenedetto. Big time side draft, and Almirola, will he pull clear into the corner? He does. Power move to get around the 21 as DiBenedetto got really tight in the center of 1 and 2, a tad bit higher than what he had ran a couple laps before. Reddick has a couple lap cars in his way, allowing Almirola to get a run. 5 laps to go at the line for Almirola to catch Reddick. Reddick got robbed of a last lap pass due to those cautions late and pretty much all throughout stage 1, and Almirola has the run. He is gaining a ton of ground on the 8 of Reddick. Almirola gripping and ripping the bottom lane right now, and he pulls to within a car length of a half, maybe less of Reddick as they pull into turn 3. Reddick is not moving up to the outside to take away the line of Almirola. He goes to the bottom, giving Almirola the run off of turn 4. 4 laps to go this time by. Big draft off the back of Reddick's car. Quinn Houff, James Davidson, and maybe Josh Bilicki could go a lap down in these closing laps. That could be the deciding factor to the stage 2 win. Almirola again to the inside. Inches away from that left rear corner panel of Tyler Reddick. Can't pull closer. Reddick breaks the draft down the back straightaway. Now swinging to the inside, not allowing Almirola to get the run. But again, Reddick to the bottom, the shortest way around versus the momentum on the top through the progressive banking and the PJ1 laid down in turns 3 and 4, giving Almirola much bigger straightaway speeds. Again pulls to within about a car length of a half. Lap car on the bottom going to take the line away for Eric Almirola. That was Quinn Houff in the 00. Almirola's been on the bottom in 1 and 2 pretty much every lap of this segment, but he couldn't do it there. Reddick again to the bottom in the middle of the corner. Almirola to the top. 2 laps to go at the line in stage 2. Big run into turn 1. Is Almirola going to take the dive bomb move to the bottom? Reddick might look to take the line away. No, they both go to the outside into the PJ1. Almirola's got to be careful and not get too tight here. And he stays in the draft of Reddick. Lap car in the way of James Davidson, allowing both drivers to race down to the inside. Now into turns 3 and 4. 1 lap to go as they come to the line in stage 2. Almirola gets a little tight off of turn 4. Didn't lift. Lap car of the 52 might be in the way now of Josh Bilicki. He stays high, lets the leaders race to the bottom. Reddick in the PJ1 on the outside in 1 and 2. Almirola again to the bottom. He'll have one more shot through turns 3 and 4. 2 car lengths is the difference as they roll into turn 3. Both drivers on the gas all the way through the corner. Almirola to the top. Reddick to the bottom. Off of turn 4. No chance for Almirola to get there. Tyler Reddick wins stage 2 and advances to the All-Star race later tonight. Tyler Reddick will win stage 2 of the All-Star Open. Eric Almirola second, followed by DiBenedetto, Buscher, and Cindric the top 5. Almirola made it close, but he will get the restart for this 10-lap final stage. Again, the first 2 stages were 20 laps. Final stage will be 10, a shootout to decide the final driver to race their way into the All-Star race. After Fox comes back from the stage commercial break, and I clicked the wrong... That's the second time I did that. I scare myself every time. Good thing it's an advertisement every time I accidentally get that on the screen. At least it blacks it out on my end, so that's good. When they interviewed Tyler Reddick during the stage break like they did Ross Chastain after stage 1, I will unplug the mic and allow you guys to hear the audio of that interview. But again, Ross Chastain and Tyler Reddick have raced their way into the All-Star race, advancing through the Open in the first 2 stages. One more driver to race their way in the Open, and we will have another driver try to get the fan vote of the driver that doesn't race their way into the Open in stage 3. 3 cautions for incident, all in stage 1. A caution-free second stage. Still a great battle to the end between the 8 and the 10. Reddick came so close to advancing in stage 1, but he kept the fenders on the race car and ended up using that speed and track position to his advantage to advance through stage 2. So 2 Chevys advance. We have seen Chevy dominant mainly Hendrick Motorsports this year, but RCR noticeably quicker, especially in recent weeks. Austin Dillon's been in the top dozen in points most of the year, still is. Reddick has climbed up to 13th in the point standings as well, and has 8 top 10s this season. Winning a stage here in the Open as well, helping Reddick out, maybe build that confidence. Almirola in that 10 car looks really fast, though. It was tough to tell how fast Chris Buscher is. He was able to get around Cindric, but he couldn't get around DiBenedetto. And DiBenedetto was kind of inconsistent on his speed. There were some instances where it looked like he had the fastest car. Maybe he was getting a run on Reddick, but then Almirola blew right around him. Here's the interview with Reddick.
Tyler Reddick, you can see the heat on the face, the red of the face, but you managed to get it done out there in the round 2. What do you need out of this car to be competitive in the Open now?
Man, really got to think about that here over the next couple of minutes, but yeah, it was kind of disappointing to give it up there to Ross at the end of the first segment. Was really hoping to just get this iCash Autos Chevrolet into the All-Star race, but it looked like he was there, but I was too loose to really pull up and block, so I just played the safe bet, let him go by, and thankfully we executed in the second segment. Got this thing in the race, but yeah, as you mentioned, the heat, wow, that was the hottest 20-lap race I've ever done, or 40 laps, I guess. That was hot.
Yeah, you can see it on his face, guys, and it is a steamy one. In the All-Star for the first time is Tyler Reddick.
Chapter 3, 10 green flag.
All right, here we go. Track position continues to be the key. The crowd filing into Texas Motor Speedway throughout this Open race. And here we go. We got 10 laps to decide the winner of the Open, who will advance. I I think Almirola personally, has the speed. I think the only other challenger on speed is the 17 of Chris Buescher. And oddly enough, I don't think either one of those two are going to get the fan vote. I think either DiBenedetto or Bubba Wallace are going to get the fan vote. I expect Wallace to get it, but if he doesn't, DiBenedetto gets it. That wouldn't surprise me. So it'll be interesting to see what the attack is going to look like from the 21 and the 23. I think Wallace wrecking out and maybe possibly winning that fan vote last season at Bristol. He might play it a little bit safer here, especially after that spin back in stage 1 as well. All green flag laps are the only laps that count in this stage if we get any cautions. Unlike the first 2 stages, they will not count. Almirola will elect the restart on the outside. Buescher goes into the outside behind him, so probably the 2 fastest cars remaining in the open will both be in the outside groove. Bubba Wallace will be in line in that 3rd lane behind them, see if he can capitalize and keep up with the 2 Fords in front of him now. We mentioned that 2 Chevys have already advanced their way in. The next closest Chevy would be lining up in 5th of Corey LaJoie, 3rd in line on the inside. Not too many Chevys left, though, at the same time. Pressure-packed final 10 laps. I think my leaderboard froze. Oh no! Oh no! There we go. I lost the feed for a second. It's back. Hopefully everything's organized. Green flag back in the air. Final stage underway. 10 laps. A shootout Texas style. DiBenedetto gets a good jump on that inside groove. Almirola on the top side trying to take advantage, trying to stand that right rear corner panel. He didn't get as good of a push or launch as what he had hoped. DiBenedetto needs to go up and side draft the 10. Now he does halfway down the back straightaway. Side by side for second as well, or third rather, as well, between the 33 and the 17. Almirola stays pinned on the 21 of DiBenedetto. Still side by side off turn 4. Run on the outside for Eric Almirola will give him the advantage, but he is not clear. DiBenedetto stays on that left rear corner panel, and they're still side by side for the lead. A lap and a half now into the restart. DiBenedetto can't clear the 21 off turn 2. He has to continue to side draft. Almirola gets the run, and he is clear down the back straightaway. Almirola to the lead. LaJoie off the pace as he loses a lot of momentum off turn 2. Buescher fends off Cindric for 3rd place. Battle now for 5th between Briscoe and Wallace. Wallace clear now down the front stretch. Almirola to the outside. DiBenedetto trying to pick a different lane to the bottom. Also on the outside is the 17 of Chris Buescher. Buescher, again, seems to be faster than the 21 of DiBenedetto, but DiBenedetto does not want to let him go. This could be his last chance to make it to the All-Star race. 17 car slides it into turns 1 and 2 now, down to the bottom, but again, fails to get to the inside of DiBenedetto. Matty D trying to block down the back straightaway and hold on to second as Almirola is pulled out to about a 3 or 4 car length lead into turn 3. Gosh darn it. I didn't mean to get rid of that raw feed for you guys. There we go. Five laps to go this time. We're halfway through the final stage. Almirola continues that 3 to 4 car length lead. It's about 0.4 of a second. Nothing more, nothing less. Again, Buescher to the bottom. Underneath the Benedetto, not going to be able to get there. Four more laps for Eric Almirola. All 3 cars inside the top 3 move up to that middle to upper groove in the PJ1 through turns 1 and 2 now. Almirola fades back down to the bottom, and so does the Benedetto and Buescher. So they're all kind of following each other, whether it's intentional or not. That is the case. 3 laps to go in segment number 3. Chase Briscoe in the 14 was able to get around Cindric a couple laps ago. He is now to the back bumper of the 17 of Chris Buescher for 3rd place, but the final lap is upon us. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go for Eric Almirola to win the All-Star Open and advance into the All-Star race through the Open for the 2nd consecutive season. Half a lap to go. Still about 4 car lengths in between the top 2, now into turns 3 and 4. No chance for De Benedetto to get there. Eric Almirola will win the All-Star Open to advance into the All-Star race. And now we have to wait to see who will get the fan vote. Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick, Eric Almirola will be the 3 drivers again that have raced their way in. And still awaiting the fan vote winner. Matt De Benedetto will get the fan vote to advance to the All-Star race after finishing 2nd at the end of the Open. Was wondering who was going to get it between De Benedetto or Wallace. I figured one of the two were going to get there. And De Benedetto looks like he's got a little bit faster of a car than what Wallace has, so at least it'll be a more competitive car in the All-Star race, I do believe. So now the 4 drivers are locked in from the Open. Matt De Benedetto, virtue of fan vote, and then the 3 stage winners of Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick, and Eric Almirola. Just over an hour away from the start of the All-Star race here tonight. Before we close the stream out, I will give my predictions very briefly. I didn't know how I was going to do the predictions this week. Usually we have the NASCAR Fantasy Podcast, but there's no fantasy this week. I still wanted to give my predictions out, so I will give them right now. Usually we give a few drivers that aren't going to perform well, a few drivers that could be sleeper picks, and then a few drivers that are must-haves. Because only half the cars are in and most of the potential sleeper picks aren't actually in the race, there are a couple of them that I think you should look out for. Starting off with Tyler Reddick, he looked very fast in this opening run. So did Ross Chastain. The Chevys have been fast, especially with the 550 package, and especially on these mile-and-a-half racetracks this season. But Reddick also finished runner-up second at Texas Motor Speedway last summer as well, a similar time of the year from what they're racing right now. Hotter temperatures that day versus especially with what we have today. Also, so look for Tyler Reddick to be my sleeper pick. I think he gets a top 10. And potentially, if he could play out the running order with the way these segments are broken up this year, all 6 of them, if he can find his way up towards the front for that final segment, expect him to have a shot to win. I think he does get a top 10 here today. A driver that is probably a don't have, which we would usually say stay away from for your fantasy lineup. Again, there's no fantasy involved, but a driver that I think is going to run very poorly here today that is in the All-Star race. I think you got to pick Cole Custer. Storehouse Racing has struggled this year. I know Almirola actually looks like he's got a decent amount of speed here at Texas, winning the Open, and just overall looked fast by the eye test, but I can't say the same for the 41 of Chris Buescher. Briscoe missed the All-Star race as well. He had fresh tires at the end, was able to get him to 4th, but even still, without the fresher tires, I didn't see him really finishing in the top 5 today. So I don't think Custer's going to have the speed. And my pick to win the All-Star race here today. I lobbied between a couple different drivers, whether it was going to be Kyle Larson, whether it was going to be Kyle Busch I even thought about. And these guys have been so dominant on the mile-and-a-half so far this season. I'm going to play it safe. Now, here's the other thing, too. I thought about not playing it safe because these predictions don't matter. These predictions don't count like the other predictions do throughout the course of the year. But I'm still going to take Kyle Larson to win. So I'm taking Kyle Larson to win here tonight. It's going to be tough to beat him. It's going to be tough to beat Hendrick Motorsports as a whole. I think all those Hendrick guys are going to have great nights, at least Byron, Elliott, and... hang on, here's the interview for Eric Almirola, and then I'll finish what I was talking about.
Make you happy about something. It's been a really tough year, and the guys just continue to work their guts out and bring the best cars we can. And here, at Texas today, we've got a really fast car. We took the long way in, but I'm still glad we're racing for $1 million tonight. So just so thankful to all our partners that continue to stick behind us, even through these bad times. All the messages I've gotten from support from all of our partners, everybody at Smithfield, Ford, Go Bowling, Pit Boss, Honey Stinger, Shady Ray Sunglasses. Everybody just continues to build me up and continue to support me, even though it's been a rough year. So just proud to give them something to smile about, really.
Something to smile about, definitely, Eric. But you mentioned the long way into this race. That means you've got 50 laps of experience on this track right now. So just pretend none of your competitors are listening right now. What did you learn? What do you need different?
The gas pedal's on the right. Yeah, I mean, the track is just so gripped up in the PJ1 once it activated. At the beginning of the race, it was just really sketchy up there. That's why on that restart at the end of stage 1, I wasn't sure what to do, and I chose behind Tyler, and I didn't take the top. I knew my gut was telling me to take the top, but I was so skeptical of that outside lane in turn 1 and 2, and Ross made it work, so I was beating myself up over that. But, the track is so fast now with this reduction in horsepower. There's just a lot of on-throttle time. So it's important to have a fast car, and we got one. Booga and all the guys on team brought me a really great Ford Mustang. So hopefully we'll have Smithfield in victory lane later tonight with $1 million check.
Good luck, Eric. Thanks.
So let's recap.
But anyway, what I was saying, Kyle Larson's my pick to win tonight's race. Look out for Hendrick Motorsports. If there was going to be a Hendrick Motorsports driver who would probably finish last of the 4, I'd probably lean on Bowman, because even Elliott's had very, very good speed up there with Larson in recent weeks. Not quite as good as Larson. And even William Byron. Again, he's been probably the most consistent driver, not just at Hendrick Motorsports this year, but from start of the season to where we're at now at the All-Star break. Thanks, everybody, for watching this open live commentary. Live stream for the All-Star race will begin at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right before the start of the All-Star race. You don't want to miss any of the action. The race is on Fox Sports 1. But again, we'll be doing a live commentary just like we did for the Open right here, right now. We'll have the leaderboard on the screen, and it should be a lot of fun. So thanks, everybody, for watching. I will see you guys in about another hour. And again, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as I work on my broadcasting career, my young broadcasting career, to hopefully get into the sport of NASCAR. You've helped me out a ton up to this point, and I appreciate the support as always, and I'll catch you in another hour.